Open any textbook on ancient Mesopotamia, and the story of civilization follows a familiar path. Male gods rule the sky, male kings draft the laws, and male heroes build the cities from the mud up. Sumer's true creative engine ran on an exclusive high-frequency dialogue between aspects of the feminine. The male figures in these stories function as mnemonic noise, static and interference created by scribes attempting to label a wild, vibrating energy that sat outside their comprehension. Stripping away this ancient static requires tracing the thread between a legendary demon, a sacred tree, and the common moth. The Sumerian word lil describes wind, air, or a whisper. Ancient people used it to identify the lilu, invisible phantom spirits defined by their fluttering movement in the dark. Centuries of storytelling reshaped those fluttering spirits into the figure of Lilith, a manifestation of raw, uncontainable kinetic energy. To understand this energy, we have to look at biology. The ancients connected the Lilu spirits to the common clothes moth, a creature that emerges from the dark to consume the physical veil of civilization. Within this family, the hummingbird hawk moth pushes the biology to an extreme, beating its wings up to 85 times per second. Curious, at 85 hertz, those wings generate a literal thermal heat signature and an audible hum. It creates a physical vibration that mirrors ancient descriptions of Lilith, a hot, restless force of the night. The Burney relief captures this biological heat. This nocturnal figure is carved with downward-pointing wings and the talons of a bird of prey, anatomy designed for flight and high-velocity vibration. Lilith represented an energetic frequency vibrating too fast for the slow, structured world of the daylight to tolerate. The myth of the Hulupu tree records the clash between these frequencies. It depicts an internal negotiation between Inanna, the potential of social structure, and Lilith, the untamed kinetic energy living in the tree's trunk. Inanna wants to process the wood into a throne. Lilith refuses to be contained. Their standoff creates a sovereign, closed-loop feminine ecosystem. Then Gilgamesh enters the frame. As a hero defined by rigid physical dominance, he is unable to participate in this high-vibration negotiation. Gilgamesh chops down the tree. He acts as the first historical regulator, physically destroying the transmitter of the feminine signal. This wasn't a resolution to the conflict. It was an instance of the masculine impulse to eliminate a frequency it cannot regulate. This interference eventually infected the written record. Early male scribes took a fluid, sensory world and forced it into the rigid, static grids of cuneiform. This is visible in the title of the creator goddess Ninhursag. Scribes translated her name as the Mother Mountain. A mountain is static geography. It is cold stone that can be mapped and stood upon. However, applying the Armenian word hars provides a different context, bride. In this view, Ninhars describes a dynamic threshold, an active biological catalyst of creation. Mnemonic noise neutralized this power by translating an active biological state into static rock. A mountain can be contained by a scribe, a bride cannot. This power dynamic defines the structure of the myths themselves. The feminine functions as the biological catalyst, a signal that excludes masculine input. The masculine order acts as a regulator, building categories and literal traps, like these incantation bowls, to ground that feminine heat. These taboos functioned as frequency shields, designed to mute a high-voltage kinetic force that threatened a stillness of the civilized world. When an ancient text warns of a demon in the night, look closely at the wings. The description captures a high-frequency authority, one that vibrated so fast the men writing the history books could only describe it as terror.